Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Wednesday, December 31st, otherwise known as New Year's Eve, and the last day of 2025. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith will be joined by Perlo in just a moment as well, and we are here to break down the final NHL card of 2025, a big slate here on New Year's Eve. Moved the start time up just a bit because of the fact we've got a lot of early games. We've got 4 matinee affairs in the NHL, so we'll get to those in just a moment. And as you know, with the YouTube titles of these shows, I always put one of the games on the card in the title. And it's actually good for the algorithm and the SEO stuff that you put actually at one game and some team names in the title, because it gets more people and eyeballs and views to the channel and to the individual videos. That's why there's always a game. When you see the YouTube title, NHL betting, picks and predictions, the Ice Guys, you'll always see one of the games on the card. I can tell you, it's been a long time, and it's usually a marquee game, one of the better and bigger games on the card, or a TV game. It's been a while since the fucking Buffalo Sabres have been in the marquee and the title when it comes to one of the bigger games on the slate. But yes, they are, and deservedly so. That is one of the better and one of the bigger games, I believe, on the slate. Buffalo and Dallas taking place tonight. So excited. They deserve their spot in the YouTube title as one of the highlighted games here on this New Year's Eve slate. That is for sure. We'll look back first on last night. It was obviously a bit of a shorter card. The highlight of the night for me, because, we had some good, we had some bad. The bad was, the over fell short with Montreal, Florida. But, part of the reason why with Montreal, Florida, I was worried about the overs, because I wouldn't be totally shocked. I said, if, it's a backs against the wall, hell of a start and performance by Sam Montembeault. Because this is back against the wall time for him in his NHL career, quite honestly. Because if he had come in from his conditioning stint in Laval last night and shit the bed and had another horrible start, that really would have not only made Montreal look toward, probably not putting him in again anytime soon. It probably also would have been a situation where, other teams are probably going to shy away if they're looking at maybe trading him at some point. So it was a very important start for Montembeault, and he delivered the goods. He was excellent. I think it was one of the better starts and performances he's had all season. And even though Montreal was not producing much goal production and run support, if you will, for him early, Florida got a 2-0 lead in the third period. Great comeback, great resilience by the Habs to come back, tie that game, and then end up, of course, getting the Nick Suzuki winner in overtime and get a 3-2 comeback against Florida. So we did have the Montreal money line, which did cash, which was good to see in that one. Good job by the Habs with great resilience and cooling off for now. The red-hot Florida Panthers. Another highlight of the night was sometimes it's death taxes and fade the hell out of Freddie Anderson right now for the Carolina Hurricanes. And boy, that was just you could tell right away, 1-0 early in that game for Pittsburgh. And, the frustrating part is the best bet was Carolina team total over. It lost. Had I known had Anderson been confirmed, and if we had known during the time of the show that Anderson was going to start for Carolina, Pittsburgh team total over would have been probably my best bet on the show. But we had to wait for that because, I had to make sure he was in and not Brandon Bussey. And sure enough, they light up Freddie Anderson and a 5-1 win. Now, Carolina was not very good either, but still, I think product of that is they see their goaltender, and some of those goals, like the Tommy Novak goal, just can't go in. That fourth goal by Tommy Novak, that can't go in. That has to be stopped, period. If you're an NHL goalie, you have to make that save. That's all there is to it last night if you're Freddie Anderson. And there was another couple that, I thought, just pucks are getting under his, his arm and his glove side. He's just not square. The record is bad now for Anderson, as someone points out in the chat. 1-9 run. Another, that's now 3 goals or more allowed by Freddie Anderson and 9 straight starts now. So it's been really a rough go for him, and it was a rough go for his team last night, losing 5-1 to the Carolina Hurricane, or to the Pittsburgh Penguins last night. So, like I said, a really, really tough night there for Freddie Anderson and the Hurricanes. good, valiant effort by Chicago, but they lose 3-2 in a shootout to the New York Islanders last night in that game. It was a terrible first period, but they did kind of rebound after that. My fellow, ex-Hamilton Bulldog, Brantford Bulldog, Nick Lardis got him tied very late in the second period. I thought that was a goal that could, really break the Islanders back and really give the Blackhawks momentum. It was a stalemate in the third. And then it ended up obviously going to the shootout where the Islanders ended up victorious there over the Chicago Blackhawks. But certainly better than what we saw. Certainly in the last two periods, it was better than what we saw in the Pittsburgh game over the weekend for Chicago. But again, goals are hard to come by right now for this hockey team. Right now, they're saying, thank God we got Nick Lardis, because Nick Lardis has been one of the bright spots offensively during this rough patch where the goals have been few and far between. But Islanders get the win there, 3-2. And then the Rick Tocchet return to Vancouver is a victorious one for him and the Philadelphia Flyers, 6-3 against Vancouver. We had the Flyers, a little small bet on the Flyers. We had the draw that didn't hit. But again, the Islanders-Hawks draw cashing means, out of the 3 draw bets, we hit one and it's still profit. So we'll take it. Philly gets the 6-3, but they were awful in the first period. Like, the shots were 10-0 Vancouver. And if not for Dan Vladar, could have been a lot worse than 1-0 Vancouver. But Philly got better. Philly got stronger as the game went on and ended up getting the 6-3 win. And the highlight for me, what can we say? This is one of the hottest goal scorers in the NHL. I never thought I'd be saying Carl Grundstrom would be that. But here we are, plus 600. 4 straight games with a goal for Carl Grundstrom of the Philadelphia Flyers. We had another bargain bin special winner with him at plus 600 last night. And the great news is we don't have to wait long to bet him again to score a goal, because the Flyers are playing again tonight on a back-to-back in Calgary against the Flames. Alex, thoughts on what we saw Tuesday, rather?
Guys like Carl Grundstrom are the reason why we created that segment, the bargain bin, special of the night. And like you said, you catch guys like that right when they're hot. Like I said, no one's paying attention. No one in the books are paying attention to a guy like Carl Grundstrom, and that's why you can still get 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, night in, night out, as these guys go on streaks, 2, 3, 4 goals. You get a guy on a top 6, or top line scoring goals like that. All of a sudden, he's going to go from plus 150 to minus 110 in a matter of games. So that's a great hit by you, and nice to catch up on that. Like I said, these aren't garbage goals by Gunstrom either. These are some quality goals. We've seen even Emil Heineman is another guy I was trying to think of when we were talking about this. Guys who have cashed in this segment, but have been showing some goal scoring prowess. And I bring up Heineman because we talked about that Isles game with the Hawks last night. This is an Isles team that's for real. And you look at that game last night, like you said, that's a game the Owls would normally lose. Giving up a goal in the dying seconds of the second period on the road, that ends up being usually a 4-2, 5-2 loss for previous Islanders teams. Not so much this season. Holding strong, David Riddick playing well and making saves late, and getting to overtime, getting to the shootout and get that win. And, of course, like I said, the Hawks are going to be a team you want to fade, if you're betting live once they go out of overtime and into a shootout without Nazar, without Bedard. They're missing some of those pieces, kind of how we talked about yesterday, where Vancouver's a team you want to back and maybe bet on if they go into overtime and they have Mr. Lincoln in the net with the way he's played in the shootout. Those are the kind of trends that start to settle in as we now cross into 2026 and into the second half of the season. So those are some notes of that I made as far as those games go. And, looking, like I said, Philly, Philly, Vancouver, was not expecting that game to be as high scoring. The same way where we thought, Montreal, Florida could be a little bit high score. But like I said, Montembeault played well. That's a good win for Montreal, good win for him to build his confidence up. And like we said, for Florida, it's not the end of the world losing that game. That was a tough spot, getting ready to head into the Winter Classic. And like I said, you mentioned yesterday, not just that Winter Classic game, but the 2 games they have after that are going to be tough as well. So like I said, they want to get ready and rolling for 2026. So that's a little bit of a tough spot for Florida, but a good win for the Habs. So looking forward to the card today. We got a lot of early games, so we'll get right onto it in a little bit.
Yeah, well, certainly the biggest Sabre fan in our chat, Real Deal Prime. Dallas in trouble tonight, he says. I love the confidence, man. Hey, you've won 9 in a row. Be confident. There's no reason not to right now. But we'll talk about that game in a bit. Perlo, your thoughts on last night?
Yeah, it was a good night for me, although what would have been my best bet if I was on the show didn't come in. That was the Penguins Hurricanes over. I like that, but it pushed. But I like the Canadians, and I tweeted out I had Toronto last night. And when all those injuries came in, I said, if you watch, they're going to still win. And, that's something I'm finally, after 4 years, starting to realize and actually bet and not get freaked out that they're losing players. That first game after something like that happens, all the players are going to play balls out. Usually it'll take a little bit before it starts to affect them. So I'm sticking with it. And actually you get better prices doing that. So and also players coming back in the lineup too. I'm not going to get swayed by that anymore. I'll be going against teams with big players coming back in the lineup. I'd like to know what the actual numbers on that, but it seems like over and over again, you get big players coming back in the lineup and the other players to kind of let their guard down or think that they don't have to do anything, and they end up losing the game. But I had the Leafs. I took the Canadians. I tailed, I believe it was Matt was talking about that over in the Flyers-Canucks game. I liked his logic.
Good call by him on that. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I liked his logic, so I ended up taking that. On the show last night, JD and I were on the opposite goaltender saves on that. I had Vladar and he had, and both of them came in, so I was happy to see that. I did have the Islanders, but I had them in regulation and money line at the same time, so I kind of split on that. And I did have the Penguins last night before Anderson was confirmed, and that was just a pure gut play. I didn't have a ton on it. I mean, the Hurricanes were on 3 games in 4, and they don't, without Jarvis especially, that team just does not have the same punch to it. And
they miss him almost as much as Slavin on the back end. You talk about one forward that they miss as much, if not more, than anybody. Yeah, it's Seth Jarvis. He's just a spark plug. He's an energy guy. Gets in on the forecheck, wins puck battles, wins foot races. They miss that.
Yeah. He's he's the straw. And you have 2 of those guys. Like, those are 2 huge players off of that team. Take players that on any team, you take a Jarvis type and a Slavin type off their team, like that play those roles off their team, and they're going to struggle. I don't care who you are. So I thought it was a good spot. Pittsburgh had the better legs. I'd give it a shot. I didn't throw a lot on it. I did take the team total over for Pittsburgh as well. And I got to send that out. Timmy was on my show, and he was the one that got me on that team total over for Pittsburgh last night. So I'm going to shout out to him. Thanks for that. Ever since we started doing that, and I'm working with the guys in the chat and stuff like that, we've done really, really well. I've become much better.
It's a good group. A lot of them are family members of the show, of the Ice Guys.
Yeah, so exactly. No, they come on our show, so yeah, it's great having JD there with all his great stats and stuff. He does it in here too. So it's always good. But yeah, it was a pretty good day overall. Good for. Well, we'll get into it later. We got to go through all of these now. As far as props, I'm not used to doing this early, so I'm going to be a little light on props today, but I'll just go on sides and totals mostly.
All right. Before we get to the Wednesday New Year's Eve slate, we just had the announcement of the Team Canada Winter Olympic hockey roster, and we will just get into that just right now. So let's hit the old breaking news.
This is breaking news from the Ice Guys.
So the announcement was made, I believe, right at noon Eastern. They scheduled it for 11:30. I think they announced it right around noon. But we have the Team Canada roster for the Olympics, and here it is. We will start with goaltenders. We'll start from the back end out. Goaltenders: Jordan Binnington, Darcy Kemper, Logan Thompson. There are your 3 goaltenders. I think Logan Thompson, it's his job to lose, probably.
Yep.
Kemper off an injury stint right now. Binnington with not like, unless he just magically transforms into 4 Nations Binnington again. He's had a tough year. He's not like he's losing out starts now to Joel Hofer in St. Louis. That's the kind of season he's had. So I'd be a bit concerned, but Thompson, I think it's his job to lose. Just when you look at the way they're playing this season in the National Hockey League. On the blue line for Canada, we have Cale Makar, Devon Taves, Travis Sanheim, Shea Theodore, Josh Morrissey, Thomas Harley, Colton Parayko, Drew Doughty. Pretty good blue line. Pretty damn good. Pretty solid. A lot of familiar names from the 4 Nations team there as far as the blue line is concerned. And the forward group, here we go. Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini, Nathan McKinnon, Sam Reinhart, Anthony Cirelli, Brandon Hagel, Bo Horvat, Brad Marchand, Mitch Marner, Braden Point, Mark Stone, Nick Suzuki, who is on the cut line. Nick Suzuki made Team Canada, and Tom Wilson. Those are your forwards. And Alex, into the noteworthy item for Alex, Connor Bedard not on the Canada roster.
Yeah.
I know he's not shedding any tears about that news.
No, especially with him being injured and he's just getting back to skating, and just please, yes, leave our crown jewel alone. But kudos to Macklin Celebrini though, because I know that was the hot topic going in. Him being a young player, you have to put him on. He's proven to be one of the top players who's a Canadian in this league already, and so you have to bring your best. And I get Tom Wilson as well. You need to have some grit for some of those games, especially if you're going to play against Team USA. So that's not going to see him probably skate every game, of course. Like you said, that's why you have this deep of a lineup. You can shake it and shift guys around. I'm sure Kemper is going to get one of those games against one of the smaller nations early, kind of work him back in as well. But you have Bennington and you have, like you said, Logan Thompson more likely will be that number one guy.
There you go. Yeah, Macklin's on the team, Rich. Yeah, don't worry about it. We all mishear things. Yeah, Macklin is on the Canadian roster. Yes. Perlo, your thoughts on Team Canada's roster?
Yeah, it was funny. I would get lots of people asking me if Macklin Celebrini was going to be on the team, and I just thought it was ridiculous to think he wouldn't be on the team. I was like,
it's ridiculous.
And then the question would come to me, who's going to come off? I said, well, no, the question is who's going to stay on?
Right.
That's how good Celebrini is right now. Like, there's lots of guys you can take out of there, and I'll go, yeah, I get it. That to me, that was pretty easy. Again, I lost the battle with the Bouchard. Shea Theodore makes it in. I don't agree with that, but probably won't play anyways. But I do like the fact that Josh Morrissey got on. Travis Sanheim, I mean, he's probably, I always call it the spiritual reach around guy. He must be there. He must be doing some heavy meditation and everything for people in the room, because I don't get it. But he's there. So that I don't mind it. I mean, I like Bo Horvat on there. I thought that was a good move, and I think they took a lot of really good 3-zone defense players like Stone, and I love this
guys that play both ends.
That's another one. I didn't understand that. Why were people saying will Suzuki be on there? I'm like, well, of course he's on there. That guy is incredible. He's a great player. He's an awesome.
You have to
player.
win face-off. You need defensive responsibility. He gives you all of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. I don't know why he doesn't get enough credit. Because he's on the smaller stature or something, or is that what it is? He's in Montreal.
His size.
Probably that.
Well, that's the thing. His is his size, and then he was on some bad Montreal teams. So it's like he kind of, which is unfair. We've seen that happen with teams where they're bad and then they're good. The guys who have been there for a long time kind of get overlooked at times.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not agreeing with everything, but I'm not in there. There's probably reasons that I don't know. So who am I to say? They got a job to do, and I just hope Canada does well.
No doubt. And again, looking forward to that. The tournament's right around the corner, man. It's like a month and a half away, and it'll be here. All right, let's get into the Wednesday card, because we got a game that's about to start, about 10, 15 minutes away. The New York Rangers taking on the Washington Capitals. We've got the Capitals minus 150, home favorites, 5.5 the total. The good news is I can be very brief, because the only bet I've made on this game, I have nothing on the side in total. It's an early start game. It's Charlie Lindgren, by the way, in net for the Capitals here in this game. For the New York Rangers, it is Jonathan Quick, so it's a backup battle in between the pipes here with these two teams. It's probably why the total is going from 5.5 to 6 as we speak. So I certainly don't hate the over, but these early start games are always weird. I might dabble on the over 5.5 for just a small bet. Don't love it, because Rangers are a tough team to bet overs with. I mean, for them, it's still, offense is not always easy to come by. Saw obviously the Carolina game stay under the total. That being said, I did cash an over with Washington against Florida, but like I said, that game was just series history. Florida especially has been a big over team of late. We'll see, but like I said, don't love it either way. Maybe a small over bet. The one bet I did make though was a player prop, and it's Protas for Washington. Alexei Protas has been on a nice little heater for them. He enters this game on a nice goal-scoring streak. You get him at that plus 340 price as well to find the back of the net, which is a pretty good price. So, yeah, Alexei Protas plus 340 for the Caps as for a goal in this one. Alex, what do you think? Rangers Capitals.
I have nothing in this game. We'll, obviously check in on it as it'll be on early. Washington, they play again tomorrow and another early start time. So that's something to keep note of, which teams are playing back to back, which teams have tomorrow off. That's something I've been kind of keeping a trend on. So this game, early start, nothing for me.
All right. Maybe Tom Wilson, just because he gets, he's going to be flying now. He's on Team Canada. He's all fired up and goes to your
Are we going to see that? Are we going to see that with guys who are named, who are maybe on the cusp and get in? Are we going to see maybe a little goal bump, a little bit of energy over the next couple of days and maybe even the month leading into the Olympics? That's something to maybe take note of.
Yeah, very good question. Do you get a bump in terms of your adrenaline level? And I don't know. You're just, you're flying when you're representing your country. That's a big deal. Players, really, really, want to be in a spot like that where they're at the Olympics playing for their country. So does it go to their legs, and does it propel their performance level a bit in the NHL in the days and the weeks following their announcement that they're on the roster? That's going to be something to monitor for sure moving forward. Perlo, what do you think here? Anything you like? Rangers Caps.
I like quick over saves. It's 24.5. I think Washington's going to be shooting a ton here. I also took Capitals team total over 3 last night before I knew it was going to be quick in. For the same reasons that you, Ted, I knew that the Olympics were, I think this has been kind of hanging over their heads a little bit. Really for Thompson, everybody wants Thompson in there. And I think it's been kind of hanging over their heads a little bit. I think they're going to see, like you said, a little bit of a breakout here from Washington. So I got team total over 3 last night at minus 120. I imagine it's juice now with Quicken, but it just feels like a Washington breakout spot to me. So, and I took a little on the draw in case I'm wrong. And I know that's because of my high volume ways of betting. If I'm wrong, this probably is a draw. You got Washington playing tomorrow. Rangers do play a draw, and the Rangers play Florida after this too. That's a huge. It is actually it's 2 big games in a row there, so I could see a little bit on the draw. I got that at plus 310. So just a little dabbles. So I have something to bet on in this early game. I'll probably end up a little green on it, but that's what I got for that. And I like the Protas. It was my bargain bin last time, and I like it as well.
All right, good stuff. All right, next up, Nashville and Vegas. Now, this start is 3 p.m. Eastern time with this one. It is Vegas minus 180, home favorites, 6 the total. That was pretty repugnant by the Vegas Golden Knights the other night against the Minnesota Wild. Pretty awful performance. They get buried 5-2 in that game by the Minnesota Wild. They were down 5-0 at one point. That's their 5th loss in their last 6 games. So just 1-5. In their last 6, but help might be on the way for this team. Not Theodore, he's still going to be out, but Jack Eichel could return. He's a game time decision, says Bruce Cassidy, to return to the lineup for the Vegas Golden Knights. And you can pretty much trace this recent slide for the Golden Knights back to Jack Eichel's absence, because he's missed the last 6 games. And what's Vegas's record in those games? 1-5. So they really have missed Jack Eichel, no question about that. We'll see if he is able to return here from that 6-game injury absence this afternoon. I'm thinking he will be in the lineup, but again, we'll wait for that closer to a puck drop. Nashville's coming off a comeback win at Utah, 4-3 against the Mammoth, a game that they were trailing in. They're 1-1 since the Christmas break, so we'll see if they can keep that going. They have actually beaten Vegas in 3 of the last 5 meetings, but Vegas has taken the last 2 between these 2 teams. Akira Schmid is going to be in net here for the Vegas Golden Knights, as Carter Hart's been getting a lot of the starts lately for the Golden Knights, but after getting 3 straight starts, they go back to Schmid, who has not been in net since the Calgary game, and he struggled in that game, gave up 5 goals to the Calgary Flames in a 6-3 loss in that game. So we'll see if he can bounce back with a better performance. I definitely like this first period over. You don't have to convince me, a Vegas home game, to bet the first period over. I like that. Maybe I'll wait for a 5.5 with the full game over. I'm not going to bet it at 6. We'll see if we can get a 5.5 with that, but I'm definitely a pregame for sure on that first period over. if Eichel's in, and even if he's not in, kind of tempted by first goal, first period Vegas as well. It was such a bad game, against Minnesota the other night. You got to think there's a strong opening 20 minutes coming for the Golden Knights here at home. So maybe that first goal, first period. It's not as good of a price, plus 100 at FanDuel, but like I said, I think I might sprinkle on that here as well. What do you think in this one, Alex, with Nashville, Vegas?
Yeah, give me the over trifecta, but I'm betting both teams to score first period pregame, and then waiting for that first period over as well. Like I said, that 5.5. You can get a 6 right now, minus $1.10 at MGM. So just wait for that to drop. I'll take even minus $1.30 to grab an over at 5.5. But I can see goals back and forth. In Nashville, they're not hanging around in Vegas necessarily, but they have an early start and then a later game tomorrow in Seattle. So maybe, it might have a few back, maybe not get on the plane so early to head into Seattle. We'll see. But I could see where this is one where we could get some up and down hockey. And like I said, Nashville's been the better team record-wise, playing, winning 7 of their last 10 games. So you gotta kind of back them while the iron's hot, especially offensively. So liking the over trifecta, but grab both teams to score pregame and wait for first period over, full game to end game.
I mean, Steven Stamkos is just on a heater right now. Let's give him credit. This is the best he's played by far this stretch with Nashville. No doubt, best he's looked in probably a couple of years. He's been absolutely outstanding during this run. Again, we're waiting to see if Eichel's back. If Eichel's back, he's probably with Barbashev on the top line. So keep an eye on that. That being said, consider Brett Howden. Brett Howden's played some nice hockey for Vegas lately. I think there's a nice value look toward him for the Golden Knights in this game. Perlo, what do you think here? Nashville, Vegas.
Yeah, I got both of those overs. I'm going to add that you made a good case for both teams to score first period, the trifecta. I like that as well. I got that last night. And I got Nashville here. I don't know. Give me plus 150. I mean, what's Vegas done recently to be minus 180? This is just pure reputation right now. And it's not, I mean, when they turn it around, I imagine they will. And I've just said before, just because Eichel's coming in, we know what happens, right? This is that first game. This is why I brought it up. So for me, Nashville, I'm not going to throw a ton on it, but I should be more. I've been riding them, so why don't I start putting more on them? They have been playing really well. So you got a little bit on Nashville. Probably I could see a draw here too. A little bit on the draw and the over and trifecta. I think play all those bets and you're probably going to be all right.
All right, good stuff. As far as props go for this game, I mentioned obviously, Stamkos has been on a great run. Evangelista scored last game. You can get him plus 360. I would look toward, like I said, Braden Bowman could be in the top 6. And like I said, Brett Howden for Vegas here as well. He's been playing pretty solid for them of late. All right, next up, we've got Tampa Bay and Anaheim. Tampa Bay minus 160 road favorites here, 6.5 the total here in this game. We'll see how this one plays out here with the Anaheim Ducks, man. They're in a little bit of this is their first little bout of adversity, I think you can say, when they're kind of going through it a little bit. They're only 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're on a 3-game losing streak. 5 of their last 6 they've lost. The only win was at home against Columbus. They've lost to Columbus on the road, Dallas at home, Seattle at home, LA getting pummeled by the Kings. I mean, some of these have been bad. Like, you shouldn't be losing to Seattle at home. You shouldn't be getting crushed by LA. Now, the last game against San Jose was unfortunate because they dominated 42-13 in shots. Unfortunately, everything San Jose threw at the net went in against Anaheim. And, Askarov, while he still gave up 4 goals, he was still very good, turning aside 38 shots in that game, and it ended up 5-4 in favor of San Jose. So they're going through it right now. I kind of am tempted by Anaheim in this spot, though. They have Jonathan Davis talks about the splits, home dog versus home favorite. I think Anaheim, off the top of my head, has been a very good home dog this year, and they are in that home dog role here this afternoon against Tampa Bay. We'll see who's in net. It's been, like I said, it hasn't been the same Lukas Dostal since returning from his injury. It's like that absence and that injury is still bothering him in some form because he just hasn't been as good since the injury. So that's concerning. Will Joel Quenneville start him today? It looks like Vasilevsky's projected for Tampa Bay. That being said, Tampa Bay is still without 4 starting defensemen. That's a problem, okay? Montreal scored 4 goals against them. Should have won the game. I thought Johansson actually played pretty well in that game against Montreal. Montreal had all kinds of chances. Tampa Bay is just giving up a lot of good looks right now, and it's expected. You're out without 4 starting defensemen. You're going to give up good chances, high danger high quality looks. It's hard to survive Chernak, Hedman, Lilleberg, McDonough, all being out, all still on the IR for Tampa Bay. So I think this could be a spot for Anaheim to still get their offense going. You really can't trust anything you're seeing defensively at the moment from Anaheim. Hopefully they're going to be able to right the ship. And Dostal hasn't, like I said, he just hasn't been sharp, hasn't been on top of his game since returning from injury. So, and we talked about it last show after it hit with San Jose Anaheim over. It's now 9-1 to the over in the last 10 Anaheim home games. So I'm on over by Fecta here, but this one is more toward the full game, which is over 6.5 here, round even money. Alex, what do you think here? Tampa, Anaheim.
Yeah, I'm right there with that full game over. I got 6.5 minus $1.10 still available at a few shops. Leaning toward Lightning team total. Like I said, I kind of want to see who's going to be confirmed in net. If it's not Dostal, because I do see a goalie post projected of Peter Mrazek. There's a Peter Mrazek sighting. You can get Lightning team total over 3.5. 3.5 minus 115 is the steal if it's a Mrazek sighting for Anaheim. But I do like goals here, so we'll be on the over 6.5 pregame, regardless of goalie for Anaheim.
Yeah. Like I said, they're going through it here, Anaheim. We're not panicking yet. We're raising our level of concern, but we're not panicking yet.
And like I said, we've cashed with Anaheim left and right as dogs early in the year.
Yeah.
Now that you got Tampa Bay getting hot, 4 wins in a row, they've scored at least 4 goals in all those victories. That's why you have to tread a little lighter here with the back in the dog here.
Yeah. Again, 9 of the last 10 Anaheim games at home over the total entering today. Burlow, what do you think here? Lightning, Ducks.
No, I had the over last night as soon as it came out. I'm playing Anaheim overs until it's done. It was my best bet the last time we were on the show, and I'm just going to keep on rolling with it.
That was your best bet, Sharks Ducks on Monday.
Yeah. With Tampa, short the defensemen that they are, I think Anaheim's going to play hard. This is going to, they didn't deserve to lose that game. I think Quenneville can build up confidence, and I think they've been looking towards this game. So I'm kind of leaning towards Anaheim here as well. They seem to play up. It's young teams have a tendency to do that. When it's easier for them to play like they're trying to prove something, much easier to do that than rather now play that you're proven. It's easier to do that. It's easier to be like an underdog than it is to be the one that is the best. That's how good young teams become great and great teams can be the one that's the target and still win, like Florida Panthers in the regular season. Like they're the target. And Anaheim still has to learn how to be that yet. But in this case, I like Tampa Bay. I do like Tampa Bay. Mrazek is in that. I don't like Tampa Bay. Anaheim. I don't like Anaheim if Mrazek's in that. But if it's Dostal, I think we could see a rebound here. But give me the over. Both teams score first period. And I'm going to go also both teams to score second period. Both of these teams are really good second period teams. So if I get them both, great. If not, they're plus money on both sides. So if I get one of them, then I'm sitting green on that. And I like the over, and I wait for the goaltending confirmation. I'm taking Anaheim in this one too.
Yeah, plus 110 for that second period. Both teams to score available at FanDuel.
The plus 110? I thought it'd be a little better than that.
I'll tell you what I will do, because I don't know if I trust Anaheim fully to win the game, but I think Anaheim can score. So maybe just a tiny pinch on the money line. But what I will do, and right now pregame, the Anaheim team totals over 2.5 in the minus 150 to minus 160 range. I'm going to wait it out, get 4 or 5 minutes into that first period. We're going to see that team total juice drop down to close to even money. If we can get Anaheim scoreless long enough, we can get Anaheim team total over 2.5, close to even money at that minus 120 or better. I'll jump in on it live because I think they can get 3 in this game. I really do. Here against Tampa without 4 starting defensemen. They're giving up shots. They're hemorrhaging shots. They're hemorrhaging zone time where they're hemmed in the D zone. That's just happening a lot when you're missing Hedman, Lilleberg, McDonough. Chernak's one of your better shutdown defensemen. Blocks a shit ton of shots for this team as well. You miss that when he's not in the lineup right now. For Tampa Bay.
You can get plus 207 if you combine Lightning team total over 3.5 with Anaheim team total over 2.5.
No doubt. Pontus Holmberg, got to bet it. He scored in 3 straight games for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Plus 700 is the price you can get with Pontus, the former Leaf, who is right now on a little mini heater right now for his new team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So again, Pontus Holmberg, plus 700 at DraftKings. Definitely, like I said, good value there as far as a prop for this game. Again, we've got all the with John Cooper being the head coach. They're going to try to get some Lightning players on the Team Canada. Although it's hard to argue that any of them don't deserve to be on the team. But Hagel, Sorelli, Point, they all made Team Canada. So maybe they all are, the announcement that they're on the team, gets them, going a little bit today. So just a little theory of ours, maybe to keep an eye on here moving forward. All right, the last game of the afternoon matchups. This is also, that game is 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, Tampa Bay, Anaheim. So is this one, Minnesota, San Jose. We've got Minnesota minus 180 road favorites here in this game. Total sitting at 6.5 across the board. Always tempted by the Sharks when I see this kind of a price with them, plus 160. That being said, Minnesota is playing some really good hockey. They are. And since the Quinn Hughes trade, we've seen what they've been able to do and what they've done offensively since the Quinn Hughes trade. He arrived in that home game against Boston on December the 14th. During this span, the Minnesota Wild are 6-2. They've scored 6-5-5. Yeah, 6-5-5-5. They had a couple where they got held down, 1 goal, 2 goals and losses to Colorado, Nashville. Now they go back on the road to start this trip, and they score 4 against Winnipeg, 5 against Vegas. So there's no doubt he's given them, a nice little, jolt offensively. It's just more mobility from the back end. Certainly that helps this Minnesota Wild team. No question about that. We'll see if they can keep it rolling. They're 2-0 on this road trip so far. San Jose's coming back from a 2-game road trip post-Christmas break with wins against Vancouver and Anaheim, now back home. It is worth noting, Minnesota in San Jose has won 4 straight and 4 of the last 5, and it's been the games in Minnesota where San Jose's really put up the bigger battle, if you will, against the Minnesota Wild. The last 3 games in Minnesota all went past regulation. So I am still going to, and even though this game's in San Jose, I am tempted by the draw here with the Wild and the Sharks. I think that's probably worth a look. It's my first draw shot of the day. I'm going to bet another over 6.5 here. I think you kind of have to with San Jose right now. I mean, you look at their games, and they're kind of playing this trade chances, pond hockey type of style. 5-4, 6-3, 7-2, 4-2, 5-3, 6-3, 6-5. Those are the scores of the last 7 San Jose games. One track meet, one high-scoring affair after another for the San Jose Sharks. And Minnesota, since the Quinn Hughes acquisition at the trade deadline, we've seen them go over the total at a pretty solid clip here. I'm looking at it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 2, and 1 to the over. 3-0 to the over on the road since Quinn Hughes arrived for Minnesota. So I will get in on the over 6.5 here. Minnesota's just playing too nicely for them right now for me to fade them. This might be a pump the brakes for me. I always am interested usually in San Jose as a home dog. Not today. I like the way Minnesota's playing here in this game. So for me, just over 6.5 in the draw. And then as far as goaltenders here, it looks like we're going to have Gustafsson and Askarov, but we don't have confirmations yet on either side. Alex, what do you think here? Minnesota, San Jose?
We actually have a draw above plus 300 at FanDuel again with this game. You can get plus 320 with this spot. Right? But shop around, of course, and get this. That means it's probably a better price than Caesars. But shop around for the best price. I do like the draw here, but I'm specifically looking FanDuel because I'm betting on Minnesota to win this game in overtime or shootout, plus 550. You got to roll with this hot team, the way that they've been playing. And this is one of those games, like you said, I feel like it could be back and forth, finds its way into OT, and it's going to be the Wild scrapping to get that victory. So at plus 550, I will grab that pregame. Over, I'll wait for a 6 live in game, try and get a 6 at minus $1.20 or better. But I do think there will be goals here as well. Like I said, I think it's going to be a high scoring day overall. But I like this one to go past regulation. I like the Wild to get the win past regulation.
All right, there you go. I like it. Good stuff there as far as Alex for this one. As far as props for this Minnesota and San Jose game, I mean, kind of feel the price is not great because he's Macklin Celebrini, but he's going to be flying, being named to Team Canada. You don't think that guy's going to have one hell of a great energy to the rink today for San Jose getting named to Team Canada? So that's something to keep an eye on here. Here's something to note. This is a guy that he's recalled from AHL Barracuda, recalled from the San Jose Barracuda. Pavel Regenda. He got into 2 games for San Jose for the Sharks early in December. Then they sent him back down. He scored in both games that he played for San Jose. December 1st and December the 3rd. Now he's back in the lineup, recalled from the AHL. He's expected to be in the lineup. He's plus 700 to score a goal, and he scored in every game that he's played for the Sharks this year. So I think it's worth a sprinkle there. Pavel Regenda here for the San Jose Sharks. Celebrini, 3 games in a row with a goal, 2 games in a row with a goal for both Boldy for the Wild, Eklund for San Jose. And the one I really like the most in this game, prop-wise, we said it all along. You keep this guy up there with Celebrini on the top line. He's eventually going to, the dam's going to burst, and eventually he's going to find pay dirt and put the puck in the net. And he is doing that now. Give me Igor Chernyshov once again for the San Jose Sharks on that top line at plus 350 range for him to score a goal. Heating up back-to-back games with a goal now for Chernyshov. So I like that one as well. Burlow, what do you think? Wild Shark.
I was going to say automatic for Colin Graff.
Yeah, Graff too. Graff, finally cooled off a little bit, but I actually like Chernyshov this time more than Graff here in this game as far as San Jose goal prop. Perlo, what do you think here? Wild Sharks.
Yeah, I think San Jose is a little overmatched here in Minnesota. I think Minnesota is really trying to get their game going. Eck is one of the most underrated. He should be up there with the Selke every year. He's fantastic. And I think he's going to relish taking this Celebrini on here, and I think he's going to win it. So I like the Wild -1. I understand that draw is nice too because of the pass, but so if it is a draw, I like the Wild to win it, and maybe I'll go with that as well. Wild to win in overtime, but I don't think so. I think it's very, very likely that Minnesota wins this handily. The San Jose is a great, talented offensive team, no doubt about it. But there's a lot. If any team is really saying I'm beating San Jose today, they're probably going to do it. If they've did any homework on how to beat San Jose, they're probably going to win. And I just think Minnesota right now is wanting to get more and more confidence with Hughes, and they're not overlooking any team. And I don't think they're doing it here. And if you're not overlooking San Jose and you're as good as the Minnesota Wild, there's a really good chance you can spank the crap out of them. So I like Minnesota -1, and I am like you on the over, but I'm gonna hopefully get a 6 out of this. The thing that has me, Askarof's back. That is the one thing here. If Askarov looks like he's back, it is going to be Askarov, right? And he had a great game the last game. He's been struggling, and he's back. That's the thing that has me a little pause here, but I still think the Wild take this. That's my biggest bet will be Wild -1.
All right, the rest of the games are night games, starting with Winnipeg and Detroit. We've got even money, -110, both sides, 6 the total here in this game. I mean, I'm on Detroit -110. I didn't overthink this. Jets can't buy a win right now. They're struggling mightily. It looks like Hellebuck and Gibson will be the 2 goaltenders. Daily Faceoff has them likely to start for their respective teams. But, the Jets now is going on the road, going to, bring them together. They're 7-12 on the road. And here's Detroit 13-8. And all they do is keep finding ways to win. They swept Washington in back-to-back. They beat a really good Dallas team. They lost to Carolina 5-2, but that game was tied, at one point. In fact, Detroit had an early lead in that game, and then they come back and they beat Toronto in their last game. They've done nothing wrong, Detroit. Winnipeg's done everything wrong. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. Sure, this price looks head-scratchingly cheap on the Detroit Red Wings side, but I'm on it. Give me Detroit here, -110. It's cheap. Winnipeg stinks right now. Until I see something, this price is a must for me, fading a team like Winnipeg. What do you think here in this one, Alex? Winnipeg, Detroit.
I think this one might be a pass. Looking at this form of these two teams, I would want to go draw, but we're not getting any good prices with that. Maybe take a shot with Detroit to win in overtime or shootout. If I do have that, I'll end up adding that on the Patreon page. But right now, this is a pass for me. Like I said, Winnipeg's not playing at the level where they should be, -$1.10, especially like I said, with how well Detroit's playing. But I'm also worried about Gibson at any point. Gibson playing well, getting into a rhythm, then all of a sudden he's due to lay an egg. So this is one, like I said, I'll wait and have my full spots on the page. Like I said, Jets have been brutal.
Look at that track record as a dog for Winnipeg. They've been a dog as a dog.
Yeah. And there's just the thing. At this time last year, they were cruising in the top spot in the entire league, eventually winning the President's Trophy. Here they are now today, 32nd in the league. So, like I said, it's brutal for the Jets, but this is a spot where, like I said, it could be a little trickier than possible for Detroit. So, pass for now. If I have anything, I'll add it on the Patreon card.
Yeah, 0-7 as a road underdog for Winnipeg, and 1-12 as a dog of any kind this year for the Winnipeg Jets. So yeah, that's trouble. That's certainly not playing well. Burlow, what do you think here? Jets, Red Wings.
I'm going to probably bet this again. I got this as a worse price. I'm taking. Yeah, I'm sorry. Winnipeg's like a bottom 7 team in the league. This is not even close to right. I know Detroit's coming in a little bit wonky, but I think they can get up enough for this game. I've been fading the Jets now for a while. I'm just going to keep on rolling with it. So give me Detroit. I also like the under in this game as well. I don't trust Winnipeg to score on anybody. I know, okay, Gibson can have a wonky game, but against Winnipeg, can't score against anybody. Make him look like he's a Vezina winner. These guys, they can't score at all. So give me no goals in the first 5. I think this will probably start out slow, and under 6.5. You can get that at -107. That'll be my biggest bet on here. And Detroit money line. Do I have anything else? Yeah, no goals first period, under 1.5 first period, a lot of under stuff, and wings ML. That's what I'm missing.
Yeah, I might do the Andrew Kopp here in this game. Like I said, we'll have to.
Right.
Yeah, I think that might be something to sprinkle on here as far as, former team angle. Nothing really more to it than that. But yes, Andrew Kopp centering the second line for Detroit, playing against his old team, the Winnipeg Jets. So that's definitely a prop that interested me here on the Red Wings side, because not much here for me with props, but that one, like I said, worth a look. Yeah, Gus Nyquist, you're right, former Red Wing with the Jets, and actually I think he scored in Winnipeg's one of Winnipeg's recent games. So that's again, former player angle.
Mason Appleton too.
Mason Appleton, yeah, former Jet, now with the Red Wings as well. So there's 2 former Jets, yeah, Appleton and obviously Kopp as well. So if you like the former player angle, playing against their old team, you're going to like some of the prop options here that you have for this one. All right, next up, we got New Jersey, Columbus. It is Columbus -120, home favorites, 6 the total. It is Jet Greaves already confirmed in net. That was a pretty quick and early confirmation. You're not going to see Elvis unless Jet's hurt, or unless it's a really, 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 really bad back-to-back spot. We thought it was a really, really bad back-to-back spot for Columbus against Ottawa, and Dean Evason still didn't put Elvis Merzlikins in, who is struggling mightily. He's Elvis Merzlikin right now, all over again for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I know Jonathan's going to have the stat queued up for us pretty soon. I'm just waiting on it. But, yeah, Columbus is a home favorite. Like, they've been almost unbeatable as a home favorite this year. Like, it's just every, I think it's 7-1 or 8-1, something like that now for Columbus as a home favorite. And they haven't been good as a home dog. So there you go, 8-1 as a home favorite for the Columbus. So I just don't bet against that. Doesn't mean for sure I'm going to be on Columbus, but it's Columbus or pass for me. We're not going against that 8-1 run. Here's the one thing that concerns me about fading New Jersey, though, even though it's a back-to-back and the bad loss, not just tough loss, bad loss to Toronto. Decimated Leaf team, missing Matthews and Joshua and Nylander and so many injuries. Tanev's out again, and to play like that against the Leafs. And the only positive Sheldon Keefe said in the postgame was Nico Hischier having the balls to fight Matthew Knies, which I loved. That was great, seeing those two drop the gloves, two skilled players like that. He said, we need more of that. If you're not going to score goals and you're not going to help us out in other ways, you need to show a little competitiveness right now and show other ways to impact the game. Right now we're just going about our business right now, he said, regarding the recent play of his New Jersey Devils. So it was pretty pointed criticism from Sheldon Keefe after that Devils performance last night. So maybe they come out storming today. And they do have Jake Allen in net, who, as you know, I kind of prefer him to Markstrom at the moment for the New Jersey Devils. But it's still Jackets or nothing for me. And I like the way Columbus is playing of late. They're on a nice little run. They've been great as home favorites. Can't go against that 8-1 run as home favorites. So I have not bet it yet. I may not, but for me, it's a one-way game. It's Columbus or nothing. Alex, what do you think? New Jersey, Columbus.
Now, this will be a game where I bet the draw, and I'm also going to grab Columbus to win in shootout overtime. I'm seeing plus 500 with that price, but I'm going to shop around for the better draw price. Like I said, Caesars has been dealing the prices consistently up over plus 300. But I can see this one being a tighter game. Like I said, Greaves and Allen Star. If this was one, like I said, where it's Elvis, I'd maybe leaning toward New Jersey in that spot with the draw. But here, like I said, I'm going to take Columbus to win in overtime or shootout along with the draw.
All right, Perlo, how about you here with the Devils and Jackets?
New Jersey Devils are the LA Kings of the East. Horribly coached. Got a much better team than they should.
You are not president of the Sheldon Keefe fan club. You have made
terrible.
That crystal clear.
Absolutely terrible. You see this team? Have you ever seen this team come out prepared for a game? They're awful, man. This guy is brutal. I don't know how the heck, and that's a smart general manager there in New Jersey, I thought, but he's there. So
some Devil fans are disagreeing right now. There's some disdain developing for Tommy Fitz there. Yeah.
Yeah. When he got hired, I was like, what the hell is this? Anyways, yeah, give me Columbus. Only thing that scares me here is Greaves has been playing a ton. But I can't trust New Jersey to score. So just give me Columbus in this game. Kind of, for some reason, I like the over 6 here. Is going to be Allen or Markstrom in here? It's going to be Markstrom, right? Allen?
Yeah, Allen.
Most
likely, yeah.
Nah, I'm just going to go take the money line, and that's it. I'm just going to go with the money line, Columbus.
Ian, you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. There we go. All right, as far as props go, not too many in this Devils and Capitals game. We'll see. We talked about Cody Glass last night. Mercer actually was kind of noticeable, so maybe there's a couple on the New Jersey side that I'd maybe consider. Marchenko is on a multi-game goal streak for the Jackets. And, of course, Mason Marchment's played very well since arriving, so I don't mind taking a shot with either of those two. All right, we move along to this is the game of the night, maybe. I think it is. Buffalo Sabres and Dallas Stars. That's why it's in the title of the YouTube video. We've got Dallas minus 160, home favorites. Total here sitting at 6, shaded to the over. So lots to talk about here. First of all, Buffalo going for a record-tying 10-game win streak here tonight against the Dallas Stars. And they do – this is not to besmirch Casey DeSmith, but – when you hear that he's starting, not Jake Ottinger, you still catch a little break if you're Buffalo, because you'd rather take your chances against Casey DeSmith in net as opposed to Jake Ottinger. And it is going to be Casey DeSmith getting the start here tonight for the Dallas Stars. And he has good numbers, but like I said, some of these numbers have been built off facing Winnipegs and L.A. and Seattle, and he's been thrown in there a lot against teams like that. Can't score worth a lick half the time. So that's what takes some of the shine away from the performance level of Casey DeSmith in some of these games. With a tip of the cap here to Matt and Ryan Robinson, who, of course, know their Dallas Stars inside and out, and especially Matt was the one that mentioned this. They have a really strong – well, first of all, they seem to play on New Year's Eve at home every year, Dallas. And the record for them on New Year's Eve at home is like 8-1-1 or something in their last 10 games. And in a lot of these games, they've scored a bunch of goals, and in several of them they've won in blowout fashion. So I'm not saying that's happening tonight, but this has usually been a spot where we get Dallas playing pretty well. And the one concern I'd have for Buffalo is the fact that Dallas is sitting around. They haven't played since over the weekend when they lost Saturday night to the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago hasn't been doing much winning lately, but they did win against the Dallas Stars. And Dallas hasn't played since that loss. That was a shootout loss. That was on the heels of the Detroit loss last week on the road in overtime for Dallas as well. So they're actually off back-to-back losses right here, this Dallas team. And now they've been off for a bunch of games here, a bunch of days, I should say. So that's the concern. It really feels like it could be a wake-up spot, get-right spot for Dallas. But it's not easy to get right at the moment against this Buffalo team. Obviously, they're playing great. They beat St. Louis, and they dominated the last 2 periods of that game against the St. Louis Blues as well. What's curious to me in this game is that I think Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is starting, which is a little bit strange that Lindy Ruff's going in that direction. And I say that because Alex Lyon's been really good, and UPL has been Marty Brodeur at home. He's been very, very mediocre at best on the road, and the numbers bear that out. There it is with Jonathan's on it. He's been great at home. He looks like freaking Dominic Hasek in his prime as a Buffalo Sabre at home, UPL. That's how good the numbers are for him at home. But look at on the road, 1-5 and a 3.43 goals against average. And I'm starting to see that it might be him tonight, not Lyon in net. So this is where I'm at. If it's Lyon, I'm going to try to ride the 9-game win streak and take Buffalo at a plus price. If it's UPL, I pivot to the over here in this game with the Sabres and the Stars. Noting, too, that Matt and Ryan Robinson have let us know that is Lyon injured? Oh, there you go. Yeah, he is. I see he's out on the injury report.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now, too.
When the hell did that happen? It must have been at the end of the St. Louis game on Monday. Yeah, I think he was stretching for a save toward the end of that game, and I noticed he was grimacing a little bit. That must have been when it happened because he finished the game. He got the win against St. Louis. Yeah, he didn't practice yesterday. Yeah, not available. So that's why it's a UPL start. Okay, so Lindy's off the hook. This is not a coach's decision. This is by necessity. Alex Lyon's hurt. Can't start. So from that standpoint, off the hook is Lindy for this decision then for sure. That's all he can do. He's got to go to UPL here. Man, I don't know, man. I got a bad feeling Dallas is going to wake up and win 5-2 or 6-3 or something like that, quite honestly. I like the over more than I like Buffalo now. I'll put it that way. Alex, what do you think here? Buffalo, Dallas.
Listen, this has been a fantastic run for the Buffalo Sabres. Like you said, this is not something that we normally get to see from this team. We've seen them have some hot first half runs, but to play this well and have this streak, this has been impressive, certainly. And, you can chalk it up to, they got rid of Kevin Adams and that was the bump, whatever have you, whatever it is, this has been impressive. But I think this run might come to an end tonight. And you look at the record, like you said, with Dallas playing on New Year's Eve, 16-5-3 all time. He's at 8-1-1 in the last 10 New Year's Eves at home. This has been a stellar track record, and one of those things we talk about, kind of like Washington and Montreal, how they play at home on Super Bowl Sunday. There's certain spots where teams have these kind of scheduling spots, and it usually works in their favor. Think about the Wild whenever they play on Hockey Day in Minnesota. Those are some hot trends that you can back on. So I like Dallas to win here, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I like the draw. I grabbed the draw earlier this morning, plus 320. That's still available at a couple of shops, including Caesars. And I have Dallas to win in overtime and shootout, plus 550 at FanDuel. And my bargain bin, one of my bargain bins, rather, comes from this game.
All right, there you go. Good tease for later. Bargain bin special for Alex from Sabres and Stars. All right, Perlo, what do you think here? Buffalo, Dallas, does the streak live on?
I've been on Buffalo ever since Seattle, but ever since they I didn't have them on Edmonton, but I've been on them ever since Seattle. But you look at just quickly go over here. They beat Edmonton at home, and that was a great win. And then after that, it was Vancouver, Seattle. Philadelphia is a strong team. That was a nice win coming home, and New York Islanders. But then you got like I said, LA of the East, New Jersey. Ottawa was the Norse bump, and then you got Boston and St. Louis. This is the best team they've seen that's prepared for them so far. I think Dallas wins here, and Dallas wins going away. I like Dallas team total over against Buffalo here. It's been, like you said, it's been a good run. Luukkonen hasn't been good on the road, and I think DeSmith is fine. Smith is fine in this spot. So give me Dallas team total over. I think the last time it was against LA, and they put DeSmith in. And I know you didn't agree with me, but I agree. I think that when you put your backup in, regardless how good he is, especially against a team against the East who doesn't see him all the time, it's sort of saying we don't care about your 9-game win streak. We still think you're the Buffalo Sabres. I think it's a great move. It's fantastic. It's a psychological.
Here's the reason why the backup's getting the start. Casey DeSmith's record against Buffalo: 6-2-2 with a 1.99 goals against, a 932 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. So
add that on top of it.
It's more of a kick in the face than a slap in the face.
Add that on top of it. Yeah, I just love Dallas here. I do. So give me Dallas. Give me -1, I guess. I don't like to take because it could be a draw. I respect Alex's draw lean on here. So give me Dallas -1.
There's always a different game each night, especially when it's like the 7-8 Eastern window and there's a lot of games going on. There's always that one game that takes the number one screen in the rotation for me. And believe it or not, this game will be that game for me. Buffalo and Dallas for sure.
Yeah, I'll be watching this for sure.
Yeah. No doubt. That's why it's in the marquee. Buffalo just earned it. You know, they've finally gotten to the point where watching their games, it matters, and people are interested now.
For now.
For now, yeah, for now. If the streak gets snapped tonight in Dallas, would you be shocked if they go 2-8 in their next 10 games?
Nope.
Not really.
I think this team's a little is better than the habit.
There have been some really good habits developing in Buffalo during this run.
Yeah.
The attention to detail has been so much better across the board. Defense, forwards, you name it. There's just the commitment to one another, and the defensive side of the puck has been evident. And, you know, so if they can keep that going, there's evidence that they can stay in this race. But it's Buffalo, and that's why you're always hesitant.
Now, here's the fascinating thing. If you think Buffalo is going to continue this run, over at FanDuel, they have a section where you can bet when they lose next. Minus 160 for the streak at the end of the night, plus 365 if it ends against Columbus on Saturday. Then you go down the line, home against Vancouver, plus 1060 at the Rangers 2 days later, plus 1160. So if you think this streak goes on a little bit, you can maybe try and pinpoint the spot when it does end and cash, at a much higher price than you'll get on game day.
I just realized DeSmith is 23.5. Give me that over saves.
You like the over saves prop? Very good.
Yeah, I like that.
Good stuff. I like Ritzkovian, Ostland, and Krebs. Krebs' goals in back-to-back games now for Buffalo, albeit it was an empty net goal against St. Louis, but he still scored in back-to-back games, and he's still up on the top line with Tage on this Sabres team, with Tage and Josh Doan. We probably have to sprinkle on Josh Doan too, just because he's, for some reason, that's just because of the Robinson's connection to him, and he's in Dallas playing against their favorite team tonight. It's almost like it's kismet that he's got to score a goal here tonight for the Buffalo Sabres, rather, here in this game tonight. All right, St. Louis, Colorado. We've got Colorado, a huge favorite here, minus 320 home favorites here. 340 in some spots, so just massive favorites. The total here sitting at 6, shaded to the over here in this game between these two teams. First period over is starting to cool off, I should point out, for Colorado. I think that's 2 in a row now that have stayed under. It was like 13-3. It's now 13-5, so maybe we get off that trend a little bit here with the first period. I lean first period over, but what I like in this game is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've talked about these big dot with the favorites of minus 300 or more, how the underdog in these games has had a good start. And what have we said all friggin' year about the Blues? What's their best period of hockey this year? What's it been all season? It's been the first period. Give me St. Louis, goal in the first period. Not first goal, first period.
Right.
Just make sure you pay attention to this. This is not a first goal, first period bet, because I don't want to be stuck with St. Louis goal in the first period. Colorado scores first, and then St. Louis answers, and it's 1-1 in the first period. This is St. Louis just to score a goal in the first period. That is what I am taking here in this game. Not to mention, didn't L.A., the lousy, lowly, wretched L.A. Kings, didn't even they score a goal in the first period in Colorado the other night? They did, if I'm not mistaken. So I like this. I think this is the bet I like the most in this game by far. Just asking the Blues in the period that's been their best period. They haven't had many great periods. Second and third's been a train wreck most of the year, but they've had some good first periods. And I think they've got a chance to get on the board here in the opening 20. So minus 125, give me that St. Louis goal in the first period. Alex, what do you think here with Blues Avs?
He has a minus 110 available at BetMGM actually for St. Louis. So that's what I'm rolling with. And yeah, that's probably the only thing I will get, because I've been small playing some of these Avalanche team totals on this run, but now you've gotten to the point where you're laying minus $1.05, minus $1.10 just to get 4 flat at MGM. So that's been a little price. So this will be more of a live game for me, but pregame, he said St. Louis to get a goal. So team total over a half in the first period, minus $1.10 at BetMGM.
No doubt. So again, you could go St. Louis. You're going to get an amazing price with St. Louis first goal, first period. Just because of that price alone, maybe
plus 205 is what I saw.
Maybe a time they did score first against Buffalo. They didn't win the game, but they did score first against Buffalo the other night. But I don't love that.
No reason to hamstring yourself or handcuff yourself, I should say, to that price. Even when you're talking about a Colorado team that could score literally in the first 20 seconds of the game.
Yeah. There we go. Good stuff. And by the way, last 9 Blues games on the road against Western Conference teams over, says Landon. Good stat there. And there it is. That's the angle we're talking about. The underdog facing a minus 300 or greater favorite. The underdog, not the favorite, the underdog. I knew he meant underdog, but the underdog has scored in the first period in 8 of those last 10 times.
It's the old boxing theory, right? You got a heavy favorite going up against a big time underdog. The underdog's only chance is really to win that fight early. You got to throw everything you got in the first 20 minutes. That's the kind of the way you can look at it.
Yeah. So that's what I like. Blues first period goal. Again, you can get it minus 110. Very good price on that BetMGM. Perlo, what do you think here? St. Louis, Colorado.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. I also take both teams to score in the first period. I can't see why Colorado wouldn't score if St. Louis does. And I'm going to take second period puck line or plus 100 for Colorado. They're a great second period team. St. Louis is not, because they usually kill themselves in the first period, like you're saying. That's why they're such a good first period team. And then they come out in the second period and they're dead. And I think Colorado can play with their food and get that second period puck line. So that's the way I'm playing it, so I can get rid of that minus 340. Give me second period puck line, both teams to score first period, and I'll do that Blues goal first period as well.
All right, there we go. Yeah, Rangers and Caps are 1-1 late first period. So, like I said, a goal apiece there early in that game. Be careful with this, thinking this full game over is in great shape there. I did put a little pizza bet on it, but I've seen Ranger games where actually you do get a 2-goal first period and then dies after that. So be careful, long way to go. Long way to go with that one. Just a small bet anyway, but still long way to go. All right, Philadelphia and Calgary next. Oh, but prop-wise for St. Louis, Colorado before we move on. I think I have a couple. Braden Shen, back-to-back games with a goal for St. Louis and plus 480. Very good price with him there. So I like that goal prop shot there for St. Louis. The captain starting to heat up a little. Natchez has obviously been very good. Brock Nelson could be someone to look at as well on the Colorado side of the equation. All right, Philadelphia Flyers back in action, back-to-back for Philly. They take on the Calgary Flames. Calgary minus 135, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. Obviously, you've got the rest in advantage for the Flames here in this game. Flyers on a back-to-back. By the way, they mentioned this on the broadcast, Jim Jackson, and what a call he had on the Grundstrom goal. Don't touch that guy. You'll get burned. Talking about the hot streak that he's on right now. That was a great call of his goal last night. But they mentioned this, Boucher and Jim Jackson on the Flyer broadcast. This is something to file away for future reference. We always talk about the teams off a loss, right? Good teams off a loss, usually they show up. Philadelphia now is 12-1-4 off a loss this year. 12-1-4. You talk about why they're buzzing around a playoff spot right now. It's because of their response to a loss. And, of course, they lost in Seattle on the weekend, and then they bounced back, of course, and they beat Vancouver last night 6-3. Slow start, but they certainly got it rolling after that. But now they're on a back-to-back. With Ersson and net, I'm not on the Flyers tonight, I can tell you that. But I don't want to lay a price like this with Calgary necessarily. Minus 135 here in this game. This is another draw spot for me. Give me the draw here. Philly-Calgary. Cashed a draw with Boston, Calgary, in an East-West matchup in Calgary's last game. That's the only bet here for me pre-game is the draw with the Flyers and the Flames. I don't mind taking a shot with the over. Philly is starting to score a little bit, and you've got the weaker of the two goaltenders in net tonight for the Flyers and Sam Ersson. So I could see this going over 5.5. I don't love it, but I lean that way. But just as of now, for me, the only pregame bet, the draw, Flyers and Flames. Alex, what do you think here? Philly, Calgary.
So this game, and also going back with Devils and Columbus, the best price for the draw available will be in the form of game to go overtime. Yes, plus 340 over at Caesars. That's the only bet that I have. I don't have a side to win an OT or shootout here. Just going with the draw, but in the form of game to go to OT, yes, plus 340 available at Caesars. That's your best price.
All right, there we go. Good stuff indeed with that. Yeah, I think the draw is definitely worth a shot here. Now, we don't have draw history with these two teams head-to-head, but it just feels like a good draw spot. Flyers on the back-to-back. Calgary, by the way, overtime with Boston to start the homestand in their last game, and plus the Battle of Alberta home game for Calgary. That almost went to overtime. It ended 3-2 in regulation in favor of Calgary. So I think the draw has a shot here. Perlo, what do you think? Flyers, Flames.
I'm gonna take. I think that was a big game for Philly and Vancouver. I think they really were looking ahead to that game, and I think they're coming in.
Yeah, the
maybe a
emotional
little
component, play for Tocchet, yeah, and now playing the second night, yeah. It
Yeah.
is a Calgary spot.
Calgary spot.
There's no denying
But
that.
I'm going to trust Calgary in the first period. They're actually a really good first period team, so I'm going to take the Flames puck line, and then I'm going to first puck line first period, and I'm going to take that draw as well. I have the draw. I think Philly will come back. I think they'll both be happy with the draw here. So those are my two plays on this one so far.
All right, and you know what we're doing with props, Carl Grunstrom. You better believe it. Of course. I think we're not betting it now. 4 straight games with a goal, and still plus 550 to plus 575. The price is still, immaculate here with Carl Grunstrom for Philadelphia. Blake Coleman, 2 straight games with a goal for Calgary. So riding that wave might be something worth a look here. As far as that's concerned in this game, I should say as well. Yeah, those are the main 2 props for me that I'm targeting. Of course, Grunstrom's been great. We'll see if we can keep riding the wave with him here tonight. All right, our final game that we will preview for this year, if you can believe it. Boston and Edmonton. We've got Edmonton minus 190, home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. I mean, Edmonton defensively, after what we saw against Winnipeg, they did give up 40 shots. I know they beat Winnipeg 3-1, but they still, they gave up 40 shots to the Jets. The Jets can't buy a goal right now. That is something you have to factor in. If they give up that kind of shot volume again, maybe it's going to be a different story. That being said, Boston can't buy a goal right now. I mean, their offense is just cratered during this 6-game losing streak. 2 goals or less in 5 of the 6 losses. 2 goals or less for the Bruins as well in 7 of their last 8 games. So it's just been a rough go. 6 of their last 8 games, but it's been a rough go for the Bruins as far as offense is concerned during this 6-game losing streak. Edmonton off the 3-1 win against Winnipeg, where I think it was one of the best games you'll ever see out of Calvin Pickard. Holy goodness, he was absolutely tremendous. I would think he's not going to get rewarded. Oh boy, back to Connor Ingram for Chris Knobloch here tonight. But Ingram's been solid. Ingram hasn't been that bad since he's been in there, and he was in net for the win against. He was the loss against Calgary, but he was in there for the win against Calgary as well. He started both of those games for the Oilers. But it is Connor Ingram for Edmonton. Swayman's projected in net for Boston. We'll see how this one plays out. The Bruins, they're just not scoring right now at the moment, and Edmonton's beaten them 4 straight times. 3 of those in Boston, but they did beat the Bruins 3-2 in overtime. The last meeting in Edmonton between these 2 teams, and 4 straight unders. So I must say, I lean under, and I lean maybe a Bruin team total under. You dare this team to score right now? They're not. They just aren't putting the puck in the net right now, this Boston Bruins team. So not a game I'm involved with, but like I said, definitely as far as a lean, Bruins under team total, or maybe even the full game, especially with it being 6.5. Now, when I recommend an under, it usually goes to die, so I caution you. But like I said, I'd lean that way here in this game, no question. Nugent Hopkins over half a fight, plus 550. Yeah, that was pretty crazy to see him getting a scrap in the Winnipeg game the other night. So kudos to him, the Nuge, dropping the mitts. Alex, what do you think here, Boston, Edmonton?
Yeah, so this is one where I would wait live. I think first period over could be a live spot, but like I said, can't trust on Boston. It'd be mostly Edmonton. So grab pregame Edmonton first goal of first period, get minus $1.05. I'm shopping around $1.05, $1.10. So shop around, get the best price available. Also, would take a shot with Edmonton first period alternate team total over 1.5. You can get that plus 225 at FanDuel. So I think that's a better way of betting the first period over pregame rather than, like I said, trying to rely on anything Boston related.
All right, Perlo, Bruins Oilers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the team. I'm gonna take the team total over for the Oilers. I'm just looking at the price here because I had to think about it before I did it. But if it's anywhere near minus 105 or something, I think the Oilers are gonna destroy this defense for Boston. It's just not very good right now. They always like to play against Boston, so. And Swayman hasn't been very good. So what do we got? It's minus 130. Never mind. You have to go to the 4. So give me Edmonton to score 2 goals in the second period. That'll be my play on this game. They're a huge second period team. You can get that at plus money.
They scored 2 against Winnipeg in the second period the other night.
Yeah, that's what I like. I'm not going to play the minus 130. That's too juiced. But
I'll plus 178 with that. Also the alternate team total over 1.5 the second period for Edmonton. Plus 178 is the price I see for that.
Yeah. Give me that. That's what I got in this. That's what I'll play in this game.
There we go. Good stuff. Yeah, as far as props go, I don't mind the looks there with Terry Ray Vegas. Max Jones did score in the last game for Edmonton, and he's a former Bruin. He wasn't with the Bruins long, wasn't up with the Bruins long, but he was there. So, and of course, Trent Frederick, also a former Bruin for the Edmonton Oilers. So, like I said, if you buy into that angle, and yeah, Arvidsson too, former Oiler, now with the Boston Bruins. So, a lot of former player angles there if you like that for the goal props in this game. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat at the like button. We appreciate it very much. Great show, our final show of the year as we ring out 2025 and ring in 2026. Make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com. Hopefully big things coming in the year ahead, but certainly check out the site. Great handicappers there. It's been a great all sports run. Wizardsportspicks.com. Beyond the Lines videos every single day on the YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out, wizardsportspicks.com. And, of course, check out patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month, goalie charts, totals charts. We're going to have a ton of Patreon-exclusive live betcasts in the month of January, the daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day. Check the Patreon page just before 3 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, I posted it already on the page. I got the partial card posted there for me at least, and we'll get everything.
Mine will be up. My whole card will be sent in before then, so
no doubt. And we'll get everything up for 3 p.m. Eastern, just before 3 p.m. Eastern on the Patreon page later this afternoon. So check that out. Again, $10 per month. Your subscription and your membership goes a long way to supporting the show, keeping it going long term. Get on board in the new year. Give yourself the New Year's gift of a Patreon Ice Guys. Join the club as a Patreon member. $10 per month. Patreon.com/Ice Guys.
Like I said, 2026 is about new you, new things, joining Patreon, buying some of the merch at the Ice Guys store you can get right now, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. And for the next 7 days, you can save 25% off everything for orders $50 or more. So get yourself a hoodie, a t-shirt, a hat, any combination you want. You go over $50, you'll be able to save 25% off of that order for the next 7 days. Don't delay. Get something new for yourself for 2026 and rock the Ice Guys merch at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right. Make sure you get some gear and merch. Christmas is gone, but it's never too late to get yourself some gear and some merch at the Ice Guys store. All right. Bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Kings and Queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check them out, royalcannabisshop.com. 20% off with the promo code ICEGUYS. All right, bargain bin special of the night. You already know which one of mine is going to be for this Wednesday New Year's Eve slate. maybe a guy by the name of Grunstrom, maybe, that we cashed with last night. So that is going to be one of mine, but I'll mention the other one in just a bit. First, Alex, bargain bin special of the night.
Yeah, we got two of them, and one's going to be a little creative. And this is in the early game out in San Jose, taking on Minnesota. They've said we're expecting to see some of these Olympians have a little bit of a bump, being acknowledged and recognized as being selected to teams. We already just saw. I just was watching the video during the break where Tom Wilson, Logan Thompson getting standing ovations there in Washington as they're being announced to the Olympic team. I'm looking at Macklin Celebrini to score a goal in San Jose, but I'm tying that with the Wild to win the game on the money line. You can get that parlay plus 325 at FanDuel. So that's Macklin Celebrini, anytime goal, along with the Wild to win the contest, plus 325. That would be my first bargain bin special tonight. The second one also involves an Olympian just named to Team Canada. I'm going with Thomas Harley of the Dallas Stars in that Dallas Buffalo game to get a goal anytime. You get plus 800, the best price available at FanDuel. So we're going Macklin Celebrini anytime goal to have the Minnesota Wild to win the game, plus 325. And then later tonight, Thomas Harley anytime goal at plus 800. Those are my two bargain bin specials, the last two of 2025.
Yep, and another guy that got named to Team Canada, Thomas Harley. So maybe there's a little extra pep in his step tonight for the Dallas Stars. So there you go. A couple of bargain bin specials for Alex. Perlo, bargain bin special. And you had Roslovic as one of yours the last time you were on the show.
Yeah, last time I had Roslovic. I'm going a different direction, but it is an Olympic connection, except it's an Olympic connection where they got slighted and did not get selected. And I'm going with the Bush bomb tonight. Bouchard's going to get plus 400. And I also am going to go to Minnesota. This guy's been playing so well, and I really think there's going to be goals in this one. So Johansson, plus 400 for Minnesota.
The angle with the snubs is worth keeping an eye on, too. The guys that just missed out of making, for instance, Canada. And Evan Bouchard would be one of those. That was just missed making the team. And does he kind of play like I'll show you, F you guys, I'll show you what you're missing out on. And, play good coming out of this little announcement today. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's not the worst idea or line of thinking there with Bouchard here tonight for one of your bargain bin specials. All right, my two bargain bin specials, we'll give you one at night and one in the afternoon. The afternoon bargain bin special is Pontus Holmberg, Tampa Bay Lightning, plus 700. 3 straight games with a goal for Pontus Holmberg. Of course, Anaheim struggling to keep the puck out of the net right now. So Tampa Bay, Pontus Holmberg, plus 700. And the other one, plus 575. Carl Grunstrom. Witness the power of Grunstrom. Philadelphia Flyers going for his 5th straight game with a goal tonight. Carl Grunstrom, Philly, plus 575, along with Pontus Holmberg for Tampa Bay, plus 700 for my bargain bin specials of the night. The last 2 bargain bin specials of the night for the year 2025. All right, best bets, our last best bet for 2025. Alex, what do you like?
Let's head down to Big D. And like I said, the Stars have been rocking and rolling on these New Year's Eves. 8-1-1 their last 10, 15, 16, 5-3 all time. I think this is going to be a tough one, though. They've got a hot Buffalo team coming in who won 9 in a row. It's going to take a little longer than 60 minutes before the party can get started down there in Dallas. Give me the draw with Sabres Stars, plus 325 is my best bet.
All right, there we go. Sabres Stars draw. There you go for Alex with his best bet. Perlo, best bet.
I've been going back and forth here. I'm going to take a boring one. I'm going to take Detroit Jets, no goal first 5 and under 6.5 at minus 107. And I'm going to take the Blue Jackets money line.
All right, there you go. And the Blue Jackets, 8-1 is a home favorite for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So keep that in mind. All right, my best bet. Let's do Tampa Bay Anaheim over 6.5. We're going to ride this 9-1 overrun for the Anaheim Ducks in their last 10 home games. We've been on it a bunch. I think it continues today. Still 4 defensemen out for Tampa Bay. So I think Anaheim's going to get their chances and maybe goals as well. I don't know if Anaheim's going to keep Tampa Bay off the board either, though, with their struggles in their own zone of late. So give me that over 6.5 with Lightning Ducks for my best bet here for this last card of the year in 2025 on this Wednesday, New Year's Eve. Great stuff. Thanks to everyone. It's been another great calendar year of shows. Nice guys. Of course, we're right back tomorrow. It's not like we're signing off. But it is the end of the year. We just want to take the time to thank everybody for supporting the show. It's another year of growth for the YouTube channel. Subscribers are about to hit 7,000 on the YouTube channel. Thank you for that. The Patreon membership's through the roof right now. Over 300 paid members right now, which is just great to see.
Wonderful.
Love to see that. I just want to make sure I got that figure right. I think I did. Yeah, it is right now in that range. So that's fantastic. That's absolutely outstanding. We want to we'll push for 400, 500 with that.
Yes.
Yeah. So keep it rolling. We appreciate the support. The show can't continue without your support. It really is that simple. And Alex, anything you want to add? And just Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
Stay safe tonight if you're celebrating. And we want to see you right back here tomorrow, noon Eastern, to start and cap our New Year's Day NHL card and our first card of 2026. Alex, any words for the listening and viewing audience?
Yeah. Thanks to everybody who has watched us throughout this calendar year and, of course, the years previous. And like I said, we want to continue to build upon this, get bigger and better and stronger and give the best content to you guys. You guys are awesome and amazing. Thank you for subscribing, for shopping at the store, for everything. It's been a wonderful 2025. Like I said, we want to see you here tomorrow and beyond. So please, if you're going out, stay safe. Do not drink and drive. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, find a friend, find a place to crash out at. But stay safe tonight and enjoy the night. And let's get ready for 2026. Let's keep this train rolling.
Absolutely. Amen to that. Reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith and Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. And for one final time in 2025, enjoy the games and good luck. Happy New Year. And we'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, noon Eastern. And for the first time in 2026.